The VMAs were supposed to be about music, trophies, and red carpet smiles, but instead, they became the stage for the wildest twist nobody saw coming. Papoose and Claressa Shields didn't just show up, they showed out. Holding hands, whispering too close, and then announcing a shocking rebirth that left jaws on the floor. Papreesa. A new name, a new life, a new career that blurred the line between business and something much more intimate. Rick Ross, front row in his sunglasses, literally froze. The boss who has seen it all looked like he couldn't believe what he was hearing. Behind him, cameras caught stunned faces, some laughing, some whispering, some gasping as if they'd just witnessed the ultimate betrayal in real time. Was this love? A business stunt? Or a late-night secret that finally spilled onto the brightest stage in the world? Because the chemistry wasn't just professional. The glances, the touch, the timing all screamed something deeper. And if Remy Ma was watching from home, her silence will be louder than any award speech that night. So, here's the real question. Did hip-hop just witness the birth of a power couple or the start of its dirtiest scandal yet? It didn't feel like the VMAs anymore. It felt like a reality show gone completely off-script, the kind of moment where cameras try to capture everything but still miss the electricity buzzing in the air. The crowd was still reeling from that one word, Papreesa, a name that sounded like a fairy tale brand, but underneath it, carried the weight of betrayal, lust, and ambition. Fans at home didn't just see a couple standing on stage, they saw history being rewritten in real time. And the wildest part? Nobody knew if this was the beginning of something beautiful or the explosion of something forbidden. Rick Ross leaned back in his chair, jaw clenched, and for a second, you could almost see the gears turning in his head. The man who has built empires off of rap, hustling, and luxury was witnessing two worlds collide: hip-hop and boxing, scandal and business, lust and loyalty. Later, insiders would whisper that Ross muttered under his breath, "This ain't love, this is leverage." But whether he said it or not, the internet didn't need confirmation. His shocked expression became a meme before the after-party even started. Backstage, the energy was worse. Claressa and Papoose were seen moving through the crowd with smiles that felt rehearsed, too polished, too picture-perfect. But one moment slipped through, a quick touch, a whispered laugh, the kind of intimacy you can't fake. And in that second, the whispers spread faster than wildfire. Was this collaboration really about music and branding, or had the ring champion and the rap veteran crossed into something that no PR team could polish? What made it more explosive was the silence from Remy Ma. Cameras searched for her in the crowd, but she wasn't there. Fans noticed instantly, tweeting, "Where's Remy? She always stands by Papoose. Something's off." Her absence became louder than the performance itself. Anonymous sources claimed she refused to attend, knowing something was about to go down. Others swore she had no clue and was blindsided just like the rest of us, watching it unfold on TV with the same disbelief. Either way, her silence turned into the loudest storyline of the night. And then came the sexual undertone that nobody wanted to say out loud, but everybody was thinking. Papreesa wasn't just a business name. It sounded intimate, fused, like two souls colliding into one. It wasn't Claressa Shields and Papoose anymore. It was a hybrid identity that suggested they weren't just partners. They were bound. The way he adjusted her dress on stage, the way she leaned in close enough for her lips to nearly graze his ear, the way their bodies moved in sync, it was all too suggestive, too calculated, too much like a couple unveiling their chemistry under the brightest spotlight possible. Rick Ross wasn't the only one reacting. Cameras caught Cardi B shaking her head, 50 Cent smirking in the back row, and Megan Thee Stallion whispering to her team. The industry had just been served a scandal on a golden platter, and everyone had a front row seat. Blogs immediately exploded with side-by-side clips of Papoose's past interviews about loyalty and love for Remy, now contrasted with his stage debut as half of Papreesa. The internet ate it up like candy laced with venom. But here's where it gets more sinister. Insiders swear that this wasn't a random VMA stunt. It had been planned for weeks. Whispers claim that Papoose and Claressa were meeting secretly under the guise of business dinners, and that the VMAs were chosen as the ultimate launchpad because every eye in the industry would be glued to the stage. If that's true, then the Papreesa reveal wasn't a mistake. It was a calculated move. And that raises the ugliest question of all. Was Remy ever part of the plan, or was she always meant to be left in the dark? The after-party only fueled the flames. Reporters spotted Papreesa at a VIP table, champagne in hand, smiling for the cameras while whispers swirled around them. Claressa leaned on Papoose's shoulder, laughing at something he said, while his hand rested on her back just long enough for paparazzi to capture the moment. By morning, that single photo had gone viral, stamped with captions like "business partners or lovers" and "Remy, blink twice if you're okay." Meanwhile, Ross's reaction became the unofficial verdict of the night. Fans couldn't get enough of his disbelief, his raised eyebrows, the way he turned to whisper to his entourage as if even he couldn't process what he had just seen. One fan tweeted, "If Rick Ross is confused, then you know it's messy," while another wrote, "Ross's face said what we're all thinking. This ain't business. This is scandal." The boss had become the voice of the people without even speaking a word. But as the night went on, one detail made the scandal even juicier. A source claimed that Papreesa wasn't just a performance or a stage gimmick. Paperwork had already been filed. Allegedly, a joint venture company under the name Papreesa LLC had been registered just days before the VMAs. If true, this wasn't just entertainment, it was an empire in the making. But empires built on secrets don't stay standing for long. What fans couldn't stop replaying was the way Claressa introduced the name. She didn't just say it. She whispered it into the mic like it was a promise, like it was sacred. "Papreesa," she said, before glancing at Papoose in a way that set the internet ablaze. It wasn't the kind of look business partners share. It was the kind of look that said boundaries had been crossed long before this night. And just like that, the VMAs became ground zero for a scandal that could tear apart marriages, careers, and reputations in one strike. Remy's silence was deafening. Ross's disbelief was immortalized. And the birth of Papreesa? It wasn't just a new name, it was a cultural earthquake. But the question that hung in the air like smoke after fireworks was simple, yet deadly. If this was just the beginning, what kind of chaos would Papreesa bring next? The smoke from the VMAs hadn't even cleared when the blogs went into overdrive. Screenshots, blurry backstage photos, and half-baked insider stories started flooding timelines before sunrise. One blog swore that during a backstage break, Claressa was seen whispering into Papoose's ear while brushing her hand across his chest. Another claimed Rick Ross laughed and said, "This ain't Maybach music, this is Maybach mess," a line fans instantly turned into a meme. Whether Ross actually said it or not, the phrase became the anthem of the night. By morning, #Papreesa was trending at #1, not just in the US, but worldwide. Clips of the on-stage reveal had been spliced with Remy Ma's old interviews where she called Papoose her forever king. The irony hit fans like a punch to the gut. The same man praised for holding his wife down during her prison sentence was now the face of an alleged rebrand with another woman, and not just any woman, but Claressa Shields, a two-time Olympic gold medalist known for knocking out opponents in the ring. To fans, it felt like betrayal and ambition had merged into one messy storm. Ross's silence only made it louder. He didn't post. He didn't clap back. But insiders swore he was deeply disappointed, watching two names he once respected turn themselves into a circus act. One source claimed Ross was overheard saying at the after-party, "This ain't power moves, this is pillow moves." The internet ate it up, repeating it in comments, captions, and TikTok edits synced to footage of Claressa adjusting her dress on stage while Papoose grinned like a man guilty of too much pride. Meanwhile, Remy Ma's absence transformed into a narrative of its own. Fans bombarded her Instagram with comments. "Say something, queen. Blink twice if you're okay. Don't let them play you like this." But Remy didn't post a thing. Her silence wasn't just noticeable, it was terrifying. In an industry where clapbacks happen in minutes, her decision to stay quiet made it clear. She was either calculating her next move or sitting on evidence so explosive it could end careers in one swipe. Anonymous insiders whispered that Remy was furious but patient, allegedly telling her closest friends, "The world will know when I'm ready." The sexual twist became impossible to ignore. Fans replayed the way Claressa leaned into Papoose, her lips dangerously close to his cheek, the way his hand lingered on her waist a little too long. "That's not business chemistry," one fan tweeted. "That's bedroom chemistry." Even body language experts jumped in, posting YouTube breakdowns analyzing every gesture, every look, every smile. One viral clip zoomed in on the exact moment Claressa whispered Papreesa into the mic, arguing that her tone carried undeniable intimacy. Whether staged or not, the world believed it. And then came the receipts, or at least what fans believed were receipts. A gossip page dropped screenshots allegedly showing emails between Papoose and a management company negotiating joint brand deals under the Papreesa name weeks before the VMAs. One line sent fans spiraling. Launch date confirmed. VMA stage debut. Suddenly, it wasn't just a rumor. This was premeditated. Planned. A joint empire built on whispers and betrayal, revealed in front of the entire industry. Ross's camp stayed quiet, but his face said enough. Memes of his stunned reaction outperformed the official VMA highlights. One meme showed Ross captioned with "When loyalty turns into Papreesa," another had him photoshopped shaking his head with the words, "The boss don't approve." Fans started tagging him as the voice of reason in the chaos, the man whose silence spoke louder than any press statement. Meanwhile, Claressa doubled down. Her Instagram story that night featured a boomerang of her clinking glasses with Papoose, the caption reading, "New era. Bigger than the ring." Fans lost it. Some cheered, others dragged her. One comment summed it up, from knockout queen to homewrecker headlines. But Claressa didn't flinch. If anything, she leaned into the scandal, posting a cryptic tweet hours later. "Y'all talk too much. We working." That one tweet set the internet on fire. Working on what? A business? A relationship? Both. Screenshots spread like wildfire, and fans couldn't resist connecting dots that may or may not exist. The gossip blogs only poured gasoline on the flames, claiming that a joint music project was in the works, something Claressa would rap over, while Papoose managed production. It sounded absurd, but in the world of celebrity scandal, absurdity sells. And through it all, Remy's silence grew heavier. Some fans claimed she unfollowed both Claressa and Papoose on Instagram, though nobody could confirm if she'd followed them to begin with. Others claimed she was spotted at a private dinner with her legal team. Theories stacked higher and higher. Was she filing for divorce? Was she planning a public takedown? Or was she just waiting for the perfect moment to shatter the illusion of Papreesa with a single statement? But perhaps the most dramatic whisper came from backstage at the VMAs. A tipster swore they overheard Rick Ross telling another rapper, "I give this Papreesa thing 6 months. After that, it all crumbles." If true, Ross wasn't just reacting. He was predicting the end. A prophecy from the boss himself. By the second day, the scandal had grown so big that mainstream outlets picked it up. CNN Entertainment ran a headline. Papreesa shocks VMA's audience, raises questions about loyalty and legacy. TMZ posted side-by-side shots of Papoose with Remy Ma and Papoose with Claressa, captioned "From Mrs. Ma to Miss Shields." The Shade Room reposted Claressa's "We Working" tweet with nothing but the side-eye emoji, letting fans decide what it meant. And the fans? They were divided into camps. Team Papreesa, celebrating the boldness of a new power couple, and Team Remy, furious at what they saw as betrayal. Comment sections turned into war zones, every post filled with arguments, insults, and speculation. But one thing was clear. Everyone was talking. The Papreesa reveal had hijacked the VMAs, stolen the spotlight from every performance, and turned a night of trophies into a night of scandal. And at the center of it all was Rick Ross, not for what he said, but for what he didn't say. His silence became the unofficial stamp of disapproval, a reminder that not everyone in the industry was ready to play along with this new storyline. But the real question lingered in the air like a ticking bomb. If Papreesa was just the beginning, what would happen when Remy Ma finally broke her silence? By the third night after the VMAs, Papreesa wasn't just a trending hashtag. It was a full-blown cultural obsession. Every gossip page, every YouTuber, every Twitter space was dissecting the birth of this strange new identity. Fans weren't even calling Papoose and Claressa by their real names anymore. They were just Papreesa, like some twisted celebrity hybrid that had grown bigger than the people behind it. And that was the most dangerous part. The scandal had become a brand. Rick Ross's silence still dominated. He hadn't posted, hadn't spoken, hadn't addressed the memes, and that absence only made the speculation worse. Anonymous insiders claimed Ross told his camp, "I don't co-sign mess," while another tipster swore he was preparing a diss track aimed at Papreesa, warning them not to play with legacies bigger than their clout. Whether true or not, the idea of the boss dropping bars about this scandal sent fans into a frenzy. If Ross puts this on wax, Papreesa is finished, one viral tweet read. Meanwhile, rumors spiraled faster than anyone could contain them. A blurry video surfaced from the VMAs afterparty, allegedly showing Papoose and Claressa in a corner booth, their faces too close, their hands touching under the table. The clip was grainy, shaky, impossible to confirm, but that didn't matter. The caption said everything. "This ain't business." Fans replayed it a million times, convinced they were watching intimacy unfold in plain sight. Remy Ma's silence grew heavier with each passing day. By now, her name trended alongside Papreesa every time the topic blew up. "Where's Remy?" became the internet's favorite question. Some claimed she had left town entirely, flying to Miami to clear her head. Others whispered she was plotting her own big reveal, a tell-all interview that would end careers. An anonymous blog posted a blind item that sent fans spiraling. One wife has receipts in her back pocket, waiting for the right moment to shatter her husband's rebrand. Everyone assumed it was Remy. Nobody needed confirmation. Claressa, on the other hand, played bold. She posted a gym selfie with the caption, "Knockouts in the ring and outside too." The comments exploded. Is she trolling Remy? Is this a subliminal to Ross? Papreesa stays messy. But Claressa didn't delete it. If anything, she doubled down, adding fire emojis to fan edits of her and Papoose together. It was no longer just a business partnership. She was feeding the scandal, letting it grow like wildfire. And Papoose? The man once praised for loyalty now looked like he was drowning in contradictions. Old clips of him calling himself the gold standard of marriage resurfaced daily, edited side by side with the Papreesa reveal. Fans mocked him relentlessly. From loyalty to Papreesa, what a fall. His silence spoke volumes, but not the kind he wanted. Without words, he became guilty by default in the court of public opinion. Industry reactions only made it messier. 50 Cent posted a cryptic laughing emoji on Instagram, sparking rumors he'd been waiting for this downfall. Cardi B allegedly told friends the whole thing was disgusting but entertaining. Even DJ Envy hinted on the radio that some rappers be living two lives, fueling theories that Papreesa was more than just branding. It was a cover for something deeper. Then came the biggest twist yet. A gossip blogger posted what they claimed was a leaked legal document. Papreesa LLC, officially registered in New York just a week before the VMAs. The paperwork looked legitimate, complete with signatures that fans swore matched Papoose's handwriting. If true, then this wasn't just a performance or a fling. It was the launch of a real empire. But empires built on lies always collapse harder. Rick Ross's name surfaced again when a backstage voice note allegedly leaked. The audio was muffled, but fans claimed it was Ross saying, "They making clowns of themselves. This won't last." The clip spread like wildfire. Whether real or fake, the effect was devastating. Fans crowned Ross as the truth teller, the only one brave enough to call Papreesa what it was, a disaster. But the ugliest turn came from whispers about the sexual undertones. Blogs started speculating that Papreesa wasn't just a name, but a lifestyle. One blind item claimed the pair had been spotted together in Vegas weeks earlier, checking into the same hotel. Another hinted that training sessions were really late-night rendezvous. Screenshots of alleged texts leaked again. "Had a great time last night. Can't wait to repeat it." Were they real? Nobody could prove it. But the internet didn't care. The narrative was already cemented. Papreesa wasn't built in boardrooms. It was born in bedrooms. Remy's silence was unbearable now. Her fanbase begged for answers. Don't let them play with your crown. Drag them, queen. But still nothing. Some fans speculated she was waiting for the right payday, lining up an exclusive interview or documentary to expose everything. Others believed she was sitting on evidence too explosive for social media. Either way, the longer she stayed quiet, the more dangerous her eventual response became. By week's end, the Papreesa scandal had overshadowed every major headline. Forget award winners or performances, nobody cared. All anyone wanted to talk about was the boxing champ and the rapper turned hybrid brand, the woman who was silent, and the boss who looked disgusted. It wasn't just gossip anymore. It was history. And then came the blast. A gossip page posted a blurry teaser clip, allegedly Papoose and Claressa in a dimly lit room, laughing too closely, Claressa's voice barely audible saying, "Don't tell her. She doesn't need to know." The internet lost its mind. Whether authentic or AI generated, the damage was instant. Hashtag Don't Tell Her trended for 48 hours straight. Memes, edits, think pieces, all feeding the fire. If that clip was real, it confirmed everything. If it was fake, it didn't matter. The scandal had already buried them. And suddenly, all eyes turned back to two people, Remy Ma and Rick Ross. One had the power to destroy Papreesa with a single word. The other had the authority to clown them out of the industry with a single bar. Both stayed silent. Both held the culture hostage. And that's the real cliffhanger. Will Remy Ma finally break her silence and burn Papreesa to the ground? Or will Rick Ross, the boss himself, turn this mess into music and finish what the VMA started? Because if this was just the beginning, the end might be uglier than anyone's ready to handle. Ladies and gentlemen, we've just walked through one of the wildest scandals hip-hop and boxing have ever collided over. From the VMA stage where Papreesa was born, to Rick Ross's stunned reaction that turned into the internet's favorite meme, to Remy Ma's silence that hangs like a storm cloud waiting to explode. This isn't just gossip, it's a cultural earthquake. Claressa Shields, a champion in the ring, stepping into the spotlight with Papoose, a man once praised as the gold standard of loyalty, now tied to whispers of betrayal and lust. A rebrand so bold it blurred the line between business empire and bedroom secret. But the question we're all left asking is simple. Is Papreesa a love story, a money move, or the biggest lie we've ever been sold on live television? Rick Ross didn't have to say much, his face said it all. Remy didn't have to clap back. Her silence screams louder than any diss track ever could. And you're sitting right there, caught between the receipts, the rumors, and the reality. So now I want to hear from you. Is Papreesa destined to rise as the next power couple empire? Or will Remy Ma break her silence and turn this fairy tale into ashes overnight? Should Ross step in and drag them both with a single bar? Drop your thoughts, your theories, your wildest predictions down in the comments, because trust me, this story isn't finished. It's only getting started.